go in, go in, go in, go in, go in, man, go in.
Let's go to a matchup in Jacksonville this Sunday. It's the 3-2 Seattle Seahawks traveling to Jacksonville to take on the 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are favored by 1.5 points. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff in Jacksonville. The over-under for this matchup is 46.5 points. Sam Darnold versus Trevor Lawrence. So, when I look at this matchup, let's start off with the Seattle Seahawks. They are 3-2 on the season, and they coming off of a battle against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lost that game 38-35, but in that game, Sam Darnold was balling. Sam Darnold in that game, he goes 28 for 34. He throws for 341 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. And in that game, with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, it's the first game in which opposing quarterbacks each had 325 yards or more and completed 80% of their passes. So Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold both were balling in that game. And that's where I want to start when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks. For the season, Sam Darnold, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,246 passing yards, completing 73% of his passes. This is Sam Darnold's second year where he has made strides as a quarterback. Last year, Sam Darnold, under Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota, Sam Darnold, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, over 4,000 yards passing. He led the Minnesota Vikings to the playoffs. And I'm looking at Sam Darnold, and this is in the last 2 seasons. In wins, he has 17 wins. That's tied for first in the NFL. Game-winning drives, he has 7. That's tied for first in the NFL. He has 5,224 passing yards. That's second in the NFL. Big pass plays, he has 76. That's ranked first in the NFL. He has 40 passing touchdowns. That's ranked 5th in the NFL. His passer rating is 103.1. That's ranked 5th in the NFL. That's over the last 2 seasons. Now, those statistics were before the Week 5 matchup against the Buccaneers. So his numbers over the last 2 years have improved, and he has made strides as an NFL quarterback. And I have to give Sam Darnold credit because I thought at one point in his career, I thought Sam Darnold was going to be a bust. And Sam Darnold has revitalized his career, and he's resurrected his career, and he is now the quarterback / franchise quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. I remember coming into the season, I said that the Seahawks, by moving off of Geno Smith and bringing in Sam Darnold, that's not an upgrade. I was wrong because Geno Smith has had multiple games this year where he's thrown multiple interceptions. And Sam Darnold right now is in the NFL MVP conversation. That's how great Sam Darnold is currently playing. And I'm looking at this Seattle Seahawks team overall as a football team. Obviously, at running back, you got Kenneth Walker in the backfield. You still got Zach Charbonnet as your backup running back, who I love as your backup running back, okay? At receiver, you still got Smith and Jigba, and I think Smith and Jigba has a very promising future at the receiver position. You have veteran receiver Cooper Kupp as well in that receiver room. You got Torrey Horton as well. At tight end, you got A.J. Barner, okay? And overall, As an offense, the Seahawks, they averaged 365 total yards per game. That's ranked 11th in the NFL. They average 254 passing yards per game. That's ranked 5th in the NFL. And they average 29 points per game. That's ranked 5th in the NFL. So this Seahawks offense, with Sam Darnold, with Kenneth Walker, with Smith and Jigba, with Cooper Kupp and Zach Charbonnet, this Seahawks offense, they can put up points. They really, really can. Averaging 29 points per game is impressive. That's really, really impressive. Now, let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and how they have performed this season. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 4-1. And so far, Trevor Lawrence, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 1,066 passing yards, completing 60% of his passes. I thought Monday night's win against the Chiefs was the biggest win for Trevor Lawrence since they beat Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers 2 years ago in the NFL playoffs. Because over the last few years, Trevor Lawrence has struggled. He has struggled. And I said it before. Quarterbacks like Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, they had surpassed Trevor Lawrence. But that win against the Chiefs on Monday night, that was his biggest win since his last playoff win against Herbert and the LA Chargers. That was a big win Monday night for Trevor Lawrence. And in that game, Trevor Lawrence goes 18 for 25, 221 passing yards, yards per pass attempt, 8.8. He had a passing touchdown, 54 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. That was the most impressive stat for me. And he did lose 1 fumble. But I thought in that game, Trevor Lawrence went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes, who's the best quarterback in pro football. And so I still think Trevor Lawrence needs to elevate his game, because coming into the season, I said this was a big year for Trevor Lawrence. This was a big year for Trevor Lawrence. And I said if Trevor Lawrence continues to struggle and he doesn't show any progress, then the Jacksonville Jaguars should seriously consider moving off of Trevor Lawrence and trying to find their quarterback of the future in the 2026 NFL draft. But if he continues to play like he played Monday night against the Chiefs, I think Trevor Lawrence can be the franchise quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that was a tremendous touchdown run by Trevor when he slipped at the beginning of the play, had the wherewithal to get up, the awareness to get into the end zone. That was a clutch play by Trevor Lawrence. And that was a big-time drive by the Jacksonville Jaguars, too. That's what impressed me the most with Trevor's performance. On that game-winning drive, he had some tremendous throws in that particular drive. And I was thinking to myself, this is a moment for Trevor. And I always say, I don't really judge quarterbacks when everything is going right, or if it's the second quarter and it's 7 minutes left to go before halftime. I'm judging you on how do you perform when the opposing team, everyone in the building, and everyone who's watching the game knows you have to throw the ball here. This is a passing situation. What are you going to do? That's how I judge quarterbacks and whether or not you can be considered a franchise quarterback. Can you make the throws when everyone knows that this is a passing situation and it's a got-to-have-it moment for your football team? And I thought on that last drive for the Jacksonville Jaguars, when the Jacksonville Jaguars needed Trevor Lawrence to make a play, he delivered in a big, big way. He had a clutch performance in a very, very pivotal Week 5 game against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So I thought he delivered for the Jacksonville Jaguars in that particular game. We'll see if he can deliver for the Jaguars as the season moves along. Now, when I look at the Jacksonville Jaguars as an offense, at running back, you still got Travis Etienne. At receiver, you got Travis Hunter. You got Tim Patrick. You got Brian Thomas Jr. as well. And when it comes to Travis Hunter, so far this year, Travis Hunter has not had a breakout game. He's still hunting for a breakout game. Week 1 against the Panthers, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 33 receiving yards. Week 2 against the Bengals, 6 targets, 3 receptions, 22 receiving yards. Week 3 against the Texans, 2 targets, 1 reception, 21 receiving yards. Week 4 against the 49ers, 5 targets, 3 receptions, 42 receiving yards. And week 5 against the Chiefs, 3 targets, 3 receptions, 64 receiving yards. So Travis Hunter is still hunting for a breakout game. And we know Travis Hunter has tremendous upside. He's a tremendous athlete. He plays both sides of the ball for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he's looking for that breakout performance as a receiver, because I'm looking at this Jaguars receiving core with Brian Thomas Jr., Parker Washington, Tim Patrick. They don't really have an elite receiver. So to me, their number 1 receiver is not a receiver that has performed at a high level yet. Like, I don't really consider any of these guys number 1 receivers. So if Travis Hunter can continue, if he can start playing better and performing at a higher level, maybe Travis Hunter can be that number 1 target for Trevor Lawrence. Brian Thomas sure hasn't done it yet. Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't done it. Parker Washington hasn't done it. De'Ami Brown hasn't done it. Maybe Travis Hunter can be that number 1 target at receiver for Trevor Lawrence. Now, when I look at the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive stats, they are average in total yards per game. They average 350 yards per game. They are ranked 5th in rushing yards per game. They average 137 rushing yards per game. So Travis Etienne has done a tremendous job at being able to run the football. So far this year, 77 carries, 443 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging over 5.5 yards per carry for Travis Etienne. He's done a really, really good job running the football for the Jaguars. They average 25 points per game, which is ranked 10th in the NFL. So they got to get better throwing the football. And that's on Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., Patrick Washington. It's on those guys to help Trevor, and then they can become an elite offense. Because if you have an elite rushing attack with Travis Etienne and your passing attack improves, then you can become an elite offense. But when it comes to these two teams, I really, really like the Seahawks. And I think that from a defensive standpoint, the Seahawks, they do have good personnel, specifically in their secondary. In their secondary, they got Devon Witherspoon, who I really, really like. Okay, they got Kobe Bryant, Cincinnati Bearcat alumni. They got Julian Love, okay? And when it comes to their pass rushers, they're okay. Jaron Reed, Byron Murphy II, Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence. They are, I would say, I'm looking at their statistics defensively. They give up 341 yards per game. That's ranked 18th in the NFL, but they are really, really good against the run. They only give up 83 rushing yards per game. That's ranked 3rd in the NFL. And they give up 21 points per game, which is ranked 12th. But you can throw the football against this Seahawks defense. I do like their secondary, though. I do like their secondary. But you can throw the ball against their defense. They give up 240 passing yards per game. That's ranked 25th. So maybe Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars offense can have some success throwing the football against this Seahawks defense. Now, when it comes to the Jaguars defense, the Jaguars, they struggle against the pass. They give up 250 passing yards per game. That's ranked 27th in the NFL. They give up only 98 rushing yards per game. That's ranked 11th in the NFL. And they only give up 20 points per game, which is ranked 8th in the NFL. So they are the complete opposite of the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle, they actually do well. Seattle, they struggle with pass coverage. They struggle in pass coverage. They're 25th in the NFL. So both teams struggle in pass coverage, but the Jaguars and the Seahawks are really good at stopping the run. The Seahawks, they are third in the NFL in rushing yards given up per game. The Jaguars are 11th. So both teams are top tier when it comes to being able to stop the run, but they struggle in pass coverage. So this is going to be a very interesting game. But because the Jacksonville Jaguars are at home and Trevor Lawrence just had an elite clutch performance against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm rolling with the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Seattle Seahawks in Jacksonville. I'm going Jags 24, Seahawks 21.